Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Brave Cat here once again with another Frontier Signals update. So just bear with me here. There's quite a few things to cover. Haven't really done much on this website here, but the main thing really is the documentary that just came out today. It's pretty fantastic. I'm gonna have a couple links in the description, but Ben just released this new website, which has the documentary. I would definitely recommend watching this, especially if you have no idea what any of this is all about. It's a really well done documentary here. You know, it doesn't go into a ton of the actual science because, he has hundreds of hours of videos on that. This is more geared towards people that don't really know what's going on and don't have the time or energy to, sit down and watch, dozens of hours of scientific stuff. Even as someone who has been paying attention to these things for the better part of a decade, yeah, this was really, really refreshing, and it was extremely well done. Even just from a entertainment documentary kind of point of view, like it was just, it was easy on the eyes. It was really nice, and having August Dunning, people from the ranch, and just a lot of other people took part in this. That was just really fantastic to see. Okay, so where do I start here? I've got some earthquakes pulled up here because something seems to be going on in the Philippines, and it's not really what Dutch Synths forecasted. However, I think it definitely deserves some attention here. So, as I drag this date slider, these all just happened. These all just happened in the last, I don't know, a few hours maybe. So we have a stack of earthquakes here, ranging pretty much exclusively from upper fours to lower fives. So these aren't aftershocks to any main event. They're all kind of clustered around here. They're not all in the same exact spot. And yeah, I don't really know exactly what to make of this. If these are foreshocks to a larger event, then that's not good. That's not good. At this point, I would think, I would hope that people in the Philippines are aware of this, because they've been getting slammed pretty hard in the past several years, and of course, yeah, it doesn't look good. I don't quite know enough about these things to be like, oh yeah, these are foreshocks and they're about to get this or that. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. And speaking of just this whole area, let's just look at the last 2 days. All right, just in the last 2 days, we've had pretty much the entire plate moving with 5 to mid-range 5 activity. We've got a 5.6 here. We've got a 5.7 down here. And we've got several 5s in here with the deep earthquakes before that. And so this whole thing is just moving. It's schmoving. All right, and then of course, all right, we go up here to Kamchatka. We've had a whole nother blast of activity. Again, upper 4s, lower 5s. We got upper 4s, lower 5s. We take things all the way over here to Western Turkey. Kind of drag things out a little bit here. It's again, we have kind of the similar thing here, although I think this area of Western Turkey is just, it's built different, okay? We'll just say that. It's built a little differently. So let's just move that back. So bouncing from the north to the south to the mid kind of west Pacific, like this whole area, we have clusters of and whole sets of mid to upper fours and lower fives. Now what's interesting, if we take a look at some of these pulled up, so these are all coming out of Philippines here. Let's see, yeah, all five of these are taken from there. I think there's, I don't know, there's like 6, maybe 7 events here. No, it looks like 9. There's 9 different quakes here. But I'm taking a look at these 5 because there's something a little bit peculiar going on. You know what? I almost forgot to turn on the music. Alright, so let's get into this here now. So we have this 4.7, and I'm taking a look at all the station details on this. So they're saying it was a 4.7, and looking through all of it, that seems relatively accurate. However, you know, some of these upper range values are still close to a 6, but then it quickly drops down here. So yeah, when you're looking at about the average, all right, 4.7, that seems pretty fair enough. Let's take a look at some of these other ones though. Take a look at this 4.6 here on the end. So this one here, they're saying is a 4.6. And so that's also kind of going up into upper 5 territory, and then as low as a 2.9. A little bit weird, but again, you know, that seems about average, 4.6. Give it to them on that, okay. Not trying to cherry pick the data here or anything, but these 3 is when things get a little bit weird. So, okay, especially this 4.9, we know, some of us know how they love, you know, putting these 4.9s in when they're either 5s outright or even higher. So this one has a magnitude going up to a 6.5. Now that's probably pretty erroneous, all right? We can just toss that out, but, you know, it's still there. And then as low as a 3.9. So these upper and lower range values are a little bit erroneous, but with 3 different 6s, you know, some upper range 5s, a lot of upper range 5s being recorded. Yeah, I think it's safe to say this is definitely not a 4.9. So yeah, no, this is definitely probably in the low to mid-range 5, and they're just calling it a 4.9, just, I guess because they can. So we got another one here, classified in as a 4.8. This one is also topping off at 6 with the highest value, and about 3.1 for the lowest. So if we kind of look in the middle here, you know, that one also does look pretty similar. You know, 4, you know, upper range 4, like, okay. And then we take a look at the last one here. If my computer would cooperate. Pretty much the same deal. This one also says no station details contributed for the magnitude that they chose. So again, when you see this, this is like a huge red flag, and this was on another one. This is a huge red flag when you see that. So the station down here that actually has data, okay, they're calling it a 5.4. Again, we got something topping off as a 6, oops. And then this one goes as low as a 4.6. So, you know, a little bit closer set of data here. But again, like 5.3, 5.4, there's a lot of data here. There's a lot of data. So, I mean, you take the average, yeah, it's at least a 5.4. Maybe closer to, you know, whatever, right? It's at least a 5.4. Why does this matter? Why am I so on this? Well, I mean, they're messing with people, okay? They've been messing with people. And, you know, this is people's lives at stake, and they don't admit that forecasting is real or, you know, any of that stuff. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point. I mean, you're obfuscating scientific data, all right? Like, how can anyone take these people seriously anymore? Other than the fact that most people aren't actually looking at the data. Man, when you actually start to try to look into data for any of these things, you start to realize, like, oh my god, this is just a pissing match labyrinth of bullcrap, you know? I mean, it's just ridiculous trying to get to the bottom of anything, and then you see a lot of the same patterns, a lot of the same corrupt things going on. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you're looking. I mean, it's everywhere at this point. So, I mean, if we can get any sort of accuracy with these reports, then, you know, that's just a blessing at this point. So taking a look at the West Coast here, we have a 4.8 Australian feed. I already looked at that. They reported this as a 5. Guess we can look at this too. I think I already looked at it, and I don't even think there's any data for this. Is there? Oh, there is. Okay. So what do we got here? 5.8, 4.1. Yeah, you know, I'd be willing to bet this is clearly, you know, a 5. Maybe a low end 5, but, you know, a 5. So, you know, they just love doing that, don't they? Downgrading earthquakes, underreporting them. Anyways, whoa. Wait a minute. What is this 4.3 doing here in the middle of Texas? Holy crap, I didn't even see that. See, things are just ramping up. Things are not slowing down. Let's take a look at this. I haven't looked at this. 43 felt reports. I'm going to take a look at these coordinates on Google Earth. But first, again, let's just take a look at this, because this is now becoming my new favorite little obsession here. Okay, now this is weird. 4.3, and then the one down here is saying it's a 3.8. No station details contributed. And we take a look. Oh, what the heck? That's weird. Why is so many decimals? Okay, well, it's topping out at a 4.7 and going as low as a 2.5. Well, there's only a few that are below 4, and even these are 3.9. And wow, it just makes it even more unsatisfying to try to look at this. Yeah, that's weird. That's really, really weird. Alright, well, I guess we'll go ahead and open this up here. So let's see, I do want to look more into that new website that came out. Because, I mean, at this point, that's like going to be serving a lot of inspiration for my website. You know, I am a little bit jealous of... Okay, before I look at this, I am a little bit jealous of these these data feeds. I mean, they look spectacular. There's even, you know, some kind of forecasting stuff going on here. You got a tab for solar weather. It just looks nice. And look, this is the big one here. You've even got the magnetic pole kind of simulator here. I've only messed with this a little bit, but again, okay, we're gonna get to that. Let me just look at this. Okay, let me just take a look here. This is where the Texas 4.3. Okay, at least it's actually saying that it's in Texas, right? So where does that land us here? Pretty much smack dab in the middle. So we zoom in, just kind of take a look at what's going on here. You know, we could even go here. I don't think there's any volcanoes out here. But okay, so we can take a look at this view as well. Because on here, we can actually look at some of the tremor activity. So let's bring this down to last 2 days, just like how I have it on there. And we can actually look. So, okay, there's been some tremors around here as well. Or at least, you know, lower range activity. And again, let's see. Just kind of take a look here. Got some old pads here for something. I mean, this looks, I don't know anything about what I'm looking at right here. But it's looking a little strange. Got this creek bed, riverbed. Oh, that's the Colorado River. Oh, hey, would you look at that? It's looking kind of dry. Like, what's going on with that? Where'd all the water go? Well, anyways, you got the Colorado River here with this reservoir. Okay, this is weird. Again, I've never looked at this area. I'm just really not too familiar. Oh, the dog's popping off. Okay, this area just looks desecrated, if you ask me. I mean, this area just looks... I don't know. I'm just kind of talking shit right now. I think this place looks chemically desecrated. Again, not really knowing anything about the situation here. Got some houses. You got what I would assume would be some fields for growing things. Here's the earthquake again. Yeah, it just doesn't look too nice out here, but oh, here we go. Looks like we got some drilling and pumping operations, I would suspect. Probably some older ones. There's probably some older ones, but okay, there's the oil jack. So yeah, oh yeah, okay, so you got these over here, and you got these over here. You've got some over here. These look older. Yeah, this place looks... I don't know, man. I don't like the look of it. It just looks like... Like, am I looking at Mars or something? Like, Mars if they dumped a whole bunch of chemicals everywhere? And then you got these, like, little cesspool looking things. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't want to look at Texas ever again. Jeez. Okay, well that's what's going on with the 4.3. Okay. It's kind of depressing looking at that, but yeah, so that's kind of what's going on seismically. Got some very fresh activity, waiting to see how this develops, definitely. And then again, we just have fives popping everywhere. We even got 4.7 here. So yeah, it's going. Things are going. Then we take a look here. Again, we still have quite a few volcanic eruptions going on here. I kind of briefly looked in here. The one that popped out to me was the one at the bottom here, Sabancaya. We got a 22,000 foot ash plume. And, you know, stuff's been going on there. Alright, so let me just kind of go back to this here, because this relates a lot to what I want to do. There's even a local weather tab here. It's kind of nice. Especially when it comes to like the layout and the way this looks. And I really like it. And you even got a solar weather forecast. Number of sunspots, KP index, all that good stuff. So there's definitely some inspiration there. In fact, a couple of the minor visual tweaks you might notice. Made things a bit darker, made this middle section a bit shorter. And let's just take a look at my space weather feeds, because they're pretty much the same as over here, but see what I'm noticing. Okay, not only do things take a little bit to load, I'm going to be getting this pretty much the same graph over on mine, the ACE, but they do have this, which this is really nice. And of course this is an important one here, the radio blackout. Their auroral forecast moves, so that's pretty fancy. Now these, I don't know, you can't click on them. Okay, you can pop them out. Interesting. I mean, I still just kind of like the simplicity of these. You know, you can just full screen it. So this is what the sun's looking like right now. Well, in the past few days, rather. It's looking, you know, it's looking a little feisty, but I think the sun's just showing off at this point. Oh yeah, would you look at that? What was that? Oh, that's kind of cool. You know, we just have some really, like the plasma is just dancing. It's just dancing and singing. It's not even, it doesn't even want to hurt us right now. It's just dancing and singing. Look at that. That's pretty nice. Take a look at the magnetic field lines. Yeah, they're looking pretty jovial. If you could describe the sun's magnetic field lines as such, they're looking pretty jovial, you know? Look at that. See, I'm actually excited to keep looking at these every day, just to see how they change, what kind of different shapes they make. I mean, look, I think everything in the universe is conscious to a degree, and if that were the case, I mean, look, this has got to be the most conscious thing in the solar system, dude. You know, whatever mechanisms or life force you could quantify there, I mean, it's the biggest, most energy-dense thing in the solar system. And especially with the way things have gone in the past 25 years, I mean, dude, the sun is on our side, okay? You know, you look at these evil, corrupt, elite politician parasites and these rich nobodies. Look, the sun is their mortal enemy. Okay, they don't like the sun. They want to block it out. If they could have it their way, they would block out the sun entirely and we would all be eating bugs. So no, the sun is on our side. It's on the good side. But also, you know, it's still the destroyer of worlds at times. So, you know, you still got to respect it. Just going to continue looking at these. Open up this one here. It's just beautiful, if nothing else. And you got these here. So this one, you can kind of look at the sunspots a little more. All those crazy ones have kind of gone. This big one here. You can even take a look at this. Yeah, it's looking really chill. It's looking really chill. So we have, did I fix that? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. You know, I'm going to fix that right now, really quick. Ah, there we go. I fixed it. Nice. Okay, this is what I added before that I wasn't able to show. So this is kind of explaining these orbital charging hazard displays, which again, I mean, dude, I don't know what's going on here. But these are just kind of low-key going haywire. When again, I mean, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on, really. I mean, I don't even think, I mean, there's not even really any coronal holes. I mean, there's a minor one. There's a very minor coronal hole. Very little flaring. And yet the solar charging hazards are just taking a beating. So these, you know, like I said, this is like hazard warnings for spacecraft, for satellites, anything that's in orbit. So you got surface charging, internal charging, and that sort of thing. Again, so okay, total dose, single event effects. But then the charging hazards across the board kind of going haywire. Like even when we actually have some space weather coming at us, usually I don't even see it like this. So I don't know. I'm just out here, man. You know me. If there's something weird going down, I'm going to be pointing at it like Chicken Little, okay? I'm going to be like, hey, what's that? And then some other, you know, some independent researchers or other experts are going to be like, oh, yeah, there's some weird shit going on there. Huh. So anyways, got a nice little description here. I want to have stuff like this just littered all over this website. Because that's honestly my main goal. And even though I'm a little bit jealous of the way this is all set up, I'm in no way discouraged from doing something similar. Because I think I have a very different scope for mine. I mean, I'm also including earthquakes, volcanism, and everything else. You know, I even want to have things like the Schumann Resonance, and again, pretty much anything I can possibly get on here, you know, I want to have. And then I also want to have detailed descriptions for each thing. So yeah, no, things are going pretty good. And, you know, I've got some goals here now. I've got a lot of peer-reviewed papers to put in here. I mean, this is just not even like anything. Like, there's so much to add. So, but anyways, though, that'll probably about do it. It's running on a little longer than I thought, but you know, it's been a good day for frontier science, so we'll give it that. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you all in the next.